Welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, streaming live on the internet at regionsports.com, facebook.com/regionsports, and youtube.com/regionsports. We come to you tonight from Westside Leadership Academy as Region Sports Network presents the East Chicago Cardinals as they take on the West Side Cougars. I'm Andrew Mild. I'll have the play-by-play for tonight's broadcast. And joining me with the color analysis is Mike Zamia. Good evening, Mike.
How's it going, Andrew? Pumped up, excited here in Gary, the Westside Leadership Academy, and the crowd's still kind of coming in, but it is a great vibe so far.
Two really good teams coming into this with the East Chicago Central Cardinals. They are red hot right now. They have won 7 straight games, and this comes after they started 2-3 to start the season. What have you seen from the Cardinals that has turned it around?
They're very balanced attack on offense. When they have a guy like Dominique Murphy who has put his stamp on this program, he'll be remembered for years to come. When you have him who can play inside and outside, and Jameel Rich and Yamari Wallace just a bona fide shooter, that they can really attack at all 3 levels. And that's not just Murphy, but as a team they can attack at all 3 levels, and they've really caught their stride. This is one of those teams where they like to get up and down. They've won 11 of their last 12. And like you mentioned, also on that 7-game win streak. And that one loss that they've had in their last 12 games, that was when they played Kenwood, from Chicago. So, just this team is just clicking on all cylinders, and they have a chance to win their conference championship tonight.
Well, they're going up against a very tough Gary Westside Cougars team, which has dominated this series as of late. The Cougars have led this series in the last 12. They have won 10 of those last 12 matchups, going 10-2, and they now lead the series because of that stretch, going 22-20 against the Cardinals since 1993. They also have a very good team. It all starts with Trey Hinton.
Yeah, no, Gary Westside, good team, and they're just a tough team. They really are. They're scrappy. They're athletic. Their willingness to defend. Throughout the game. They're a team that also started this year on a good note, beating Valparaiso here at home in their season opener, and that, led them to winning 4 in a row before they had to, lose to Lake Central, that was formerly an unbeaten, but earlier this week they lost their first game to Portage. But this is a team that is, so far have gone on multiple streaks this season, and like you mentioned, they are on a 4-game win streak, and they've won 7 of their last 8. That one loss coming to Whitney Young, another Chicago school, go figure. And so Gary Westside, they come in red hot, and so does East Chicago. So fireworks, that's what we're expecting tonight.
Fireworks while inside, while it's foggy outside, so hopefully everyone is staying at home, staying dry, staying safe, and enjoying this broadcast on the Region Sports Network as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. We'll be right back.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Develop skills that will last for a lifetime with an apprenticeship with the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers Local 4, Indiana, Kentucky. The apprenticeship and training program is committed to developing highly skilled bricklayers, terrazzo workers, and ceramic tile setters to provide the construction industry with the best hands in the business. If you are currently working non-union and want better pay with benefits, or if you think learning a new skill with a paid apprenticeship while you earn your associate's degree is the right path for you, visit baclocal4.org/training to learn more about the apprenticeship program. Are you built to succeed?
This box is small, like Pet Supplies Plus. This one is large, like a big box store. In each, Stu, hi Stu, has carefully hidden a toy. Question is, which dog will find it first? Ta-da! Moose, no! You were so close.
Welcome back inside of the Cougar Den here at the West Side Leadership Academy in Gary, Indiana, as you're watching Game Night in the region on the internet at facebook.com/regionsports, youtube.com/regionsports, and regionsports.com. Andrew Mild with Mike Jamia. And Mike, what are your keys to the game for both sides for them to walk away with a big win tonight in this Great Lakes Conference matchup?
Well, if you're Gary West Side, first and foremost, you're going to have to play team defense. You're going to have to be able to make sure that you make all your rotations, that you're talking on defense. It's going to take a full-on effort against this East Chicago attack, like we mentioned earlier at the top of the broadcast. And they're going to have to get out and run in transition too, because East Chicago is another team that, they have shown that they can defend, especially out on the perimeter. And so that's another team where, your chances, if you're Gary Westside, is going to come in transition, but you can't get out in transition if you can't get a stop. So that's what you're going to need to do if you're the Cougars, if you're the Cardinals, East Chicago. You're going to have to see if you can get Dominique Murphy going early. He's one of those guys where if he can get going early, it's going to be able to create so much more for guys like Wallace and Rich. And then if he's not getting going early, then you're going to have to find who it is that you're going to have to lean on in the beginning. But, with Alama Rui and the job that he's done with this team is that it's not like they're force-feeding one guy. It comes through, the nature of their offense. And guys, are very smart and, they move well without the basketball. So if you're East Chicago, you're just going to have to break through in the half court on offense, and that, will kind of damper your opponent's confidence is to, if Gary Westside's not getting stops in this one, it could be a long night for them, because this East Chicago team has shown that they can put up numbers in bunches.
We're getting closer and closer to tip-off, and you talked about Coach Alama Rui It's just his second year with the team. He took over in January. The part that was really impressive to me is how mature he is for someone that's 23 years old. And he has turned this program around. For a while there, East Chicago Central was really struggling as a program, something that we're not used to in the region. And all of a sudden, he has them back at 13-4, 2-0 in the conference, and they're looking to get a big win on the road. And, of course, on the other side, Coach Christopher Buggs, who took this team to semi-state just a few years ago and fell just short.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be one of those very interesting coaching matchups. You know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, Gary Westside and how much they've achieved the past few years since going to semi-state. And there's a lot of talk about East Chicago and the talent that they've had the last few years. But one thing is for certain, culture eats talent. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. And what Coach Marui has done in terms of culture, he's got these guys to buy in and play unselfish basketball and utilize the talent that his roster has. And for Coach Buggs, he's looking to coach and try to win a conference championship tonight. So, you know, he hasn't done so shabby himself. And he's a very, very experienced head coach, you know, at Gary Westside. And, you know, he's a lifelong Cougar as well. I mean, so it's going to be really interesting to see if this kind of sparks this rivalry here in the Great Lakes Conference.
East Chicago Central, Gary Westside Leadership Academy. There still has some fans filtering in. Both sides have gone over into their huddles discussing some late game plans. And Mike, this is going to be a good matchup. Once we saw we had this one, you and I both got really excited. And after looking at the stats and analyzing, it's all come down to this. We're 10 seconds away from the buzzer going off here as we'll do the national anthem and then intros for both sides. So we're going to take a break. We'll come right back with starting lineups and your referees. So don't go anywhere as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
How far would you go to live another game night in the region? Well, lucky for you, you don't have to go far at all. At Region Sports Network, we have a collection of over thousands of games, ranging from last week to the 1960s. Now, you can relive the thrilling victories, heartbreaking defeats, and all the things that make Region Sports so great. Talk to us here at RSN and help us remember the region. Please visit Remember the Region with the link on the screen or through our link tree found on all of our social media platforms. Hashtag Remember the Region.
And we're back as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the internet at facebook.com/Region Sports, youtube.com/Region Sports, and regionsports.com. Andrew Mild with Mike Jamia. We're going through the starting lineup, starting off with East Chicago Central. It's going to be Jameel Rich Jr., Keontae Bell, Marquise Winters, Dominique Murphy, and Yamari Wallace. And Mike, you already talked about Dominique Murphy earlier on. What is so special about this player?
He can score at every level. He scores at all 3 levels. He is a threat on the boards, on the offensive glass, defensive as well. You know, he's just one of those guys where he's got a good feel for the game, too. He's got good vision. He plays unselfishly. And it's one of those things where he is such an intelligent player in the mid-range, and being able to score from that area just causes fits for the defense. And with his vision, too, if you're going to double team him at the elbow, he's going to find the open man. You know, and he knows that he has a good team around him, and, you know, he's going to do everything it takes to make winning plays the entire game.
And for the Westside Leadership Academy, it's going to be Trey Hinton, Derek Collins Jr., Harlem Rhodes, Anthony Holmes, and Keaton Barnes. Those are the starting 5 for the West Side Leadership Academy Cougars, coming off a win just a few days ago. As they have a good crowd on the other side. We're on the visiting side on East Chicago Central. Mike, both teams are taking the floor. Any final thoughts before we get the tip?
It's going to be interesting to see how long it's going to be until we see a switch of defenses. I assume both teams may come out in man, but it's going to be one of those things where I wonder, you know, which coach is going to switch defenses first, and it's going to be that kind of chess match and perhaps even a little cat and mouse game if it's a close one down at the wire.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. They did interview Coach Buggs, and one of the things he did say is they're going to run man-to-man until the wheels fall off. They love to get up inside of their guy that they're guarding, so I'm really interested to see that too. I'm glad that you pointed that out.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for if you're Coach Buggs, because, you know, you play that man-to-man, and it's going to be really hard to guard Dominique Murphy. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in terms of help side and what that looks like when Murphy has the basketball, and we'll find out here shortly.
Wallace and Barnes for the jump ball, and here we go. The initial tip will go to the Cardinals. Running the point is Bell. They'll swing it on over to Rich. They're going to feed it down low to Murphy. Murphy with the fadeaway, and there it is. Dominique Murphy, who's leading the region in scoring, continues to stay hot. He's averaging over 20 points a game. He's done that for now the past 2 seasons, and earlier this year he surpassed the 1,000-point mark. He's well over 1,200 at this moment. Here's a 3, a little long. Battle for the rebound. It's brought in by Barnes. Barnes kicks it back out. Another 3-point attempt, and that one's drained. Trey Hinton living up to his nickname, hitting the straightaway 3. Initial attack, and that is left off the glass, and a rebound cleared by the Cougars. They're trying to push it, but the ball poked away. Here's the 3-point attempt from the corner. It's off the iron. Rebound, another offensive rebound for the Cougars. Initially cleaning the glass here on the offensive side, Mike.
Yeah, both teams playing with pace right now. We get another 3.
Oh, Trey Hinton starting red hot. He has all 6 points, draining 2 tray balls, and it's a 6-2 contest.
And that's good ball movement, good action, good reversal. And here we'll see how they're going to get the ball back to Dominique Murphy as he runs the baseline on his first basket.
They're not going to go to him. They're going to go for the 3 ball with Bell, and Bell couldn't hit it. And there's a steal. Going up with it is Jameel Rich, and Jameel Rich puts it in.
Yeah, great job, Gary Westside, you know, on that last defensive possession. They're trying to, you know, deny the basketball to Murphy and let East Chicago settle for a jumper. But East Chicago, great second chance opportunity in this basket.
So far, it's been Trey Hinton who's been capitalizing. They're going to get a travel on the Cougars. And for Trey Hinton, that is a nickname that he's had since he was 3 or 4 years old. It was his family that gave him the nickname because they saw his natural shooting form. They said he was draining on those little plastic hoops that you buy your kids. Ever since then, he's gone by the nickname of Trey. He's kind of overtaken it, kind of like a Chipper Jones type nickname or Babe Ruth. But he only writes it down, Reginald, when it's on official papers. Down the lane, right hand, no good, left short. Pushing up the floor is the Cougars, and here's the left hand by Harlem Rhodes.
That's what we mentioned in the pregame is if you're Gary Westside, you want to get out in transition and run. They get a transition basket there. They take the lead 8-4. Rich
driving, kicking it back out, swinging around into the corner, and they're going to get Wallace for stepping on the line. He's out of bounds and a turnover. Can't make too many mistakes like this against the Cougars.
No, you can't. But a dead ball turnover is better than a live ball turnover. So they're going to set up on defense and they're going to try to get a stop and get right back into it.
Well, we'll say one thing that was interesting about watching these two teams and how similar they play. It's all about the defensive side and forcing those misses or even getting turnovers to get into. And there's a left hand as that was an easy entry pass into Keaton Barnes, and he benefits off a great pass. It's 10-4.
Yeah, great high-low action. Hinton there finding Barnes wide open.
Rich step back, and he hits nothing but glass. And so far, it's been the Cougars' defense the story. Mid-range jumper, and it's going to roll in. A little friendly roll for Derek Collins Jr. And Coach Marui has seen too much. He's going to take his first timeout as the Cougars have a 12-4 advantage. As they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Central.
And we are back. Both teams breaking out of their huddles after the timeout. Andrew Mild and Mike Jamia. Mike, what are you seeing so far?
Well, so far, we're seeing Gary Westside get out in transition for a couple baskets, but also doing a good job on offense, moving the ball around. And it's going to be that half-court offense that they can continue to play well in the half-court setting. They'll give themselves a really good chance here against East Chicago.
Keontae Bell currently with the ball, getting it to Wallace. Haven't heard of Murphy, but now he gets the ball. Murphy with a jab step, going to his left, leaves with a leaner, and it hits the rim a few times before falling into the arms of Harlem Rhodes. Murphy quiet so far, and a good contest right there by Bell, leading to the miss. And here come the Cardinals racing down the floor. Murphy up with it. Murphy too strong. Don't see Murphy miss from that close too often, but luckily for him, it's Marquise Winters cleaning it up with an offensive rebound and then the bucket. It's now 12-6 with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, great job there by East Chicago getting out running. They had numbers at the rim.
3 from Holmes, and it's too long, and a rebound by Bell. That was one thing that Coach Marui talked with me about with the two guards. He said, even though they're both undersized, both of them are actually really good rebounders. And he's talking about Jameel Rich Jr., who's 5'11", and Bell, who's 5'9", and Bell going for the shot. It's no good. And another offensive rebound by the Cardinals, but that time it won't go for Winters. Right now it just feels like the Cardinals can't hit any shots from around the basket.
Yeah, it's a game of runs, and, they come up empty the last couple possessions, but Gary Westside unable to capitalize through this mini drought after the timeout for East Chicago. They had that, the one jumper there after the beautiful right-to-left crossover out of the short corner there, but, they didn't have rebounders in position for that one. It could have been one of those things where you kind of hold the ball and get a ball reversal.
The Cardinals wanted the call on Rhodes as they believed his right foot hit that white line, but when this is your home floor, you're going to get some home calls. Here comes the drive, right hand, and it's left short, and it's Marquise Winters once again playing some good defense, going straight up. That's textbook.
Yeah, he just walled up there. Outstanding defense there. Wall up, contesting without fouling.
Winters is going to get fouled, and that's going to go on Trey Hinton, his first. One foul for each side, but you have to think that with the Cardinals starting off a little slow on offense, they're going to try and force feed it to Dominique Murphy and see if he can give this team the jump start that they're looking for. And he's posting up, and they're going to get a hold. Another foul on the Gary Westside Leadership Academy. This one's going to go on Keaton Barnes.
Yeah, if you're Coach Marui, you're probably looking to get a set. Obviously run a set out of bounds underneath here. But even if you don't get anything there, kind of probably wanting to run a set here.
Murphy, corner 3. Murphy, line drive, not too much arc there as it hit the front iron. Transition, pull-up jumper, and there's Hinton with that smooth jumper.
Yeah, Hinton's been feeling himself. He's had a great start to this one. He's red hot. Be careful because he can continue to go off.
They get into Murphy, and Murphy tried to split the defenders. He fell over. A swing over to the corner, and Jameel Ritchie Jr. cannot capitalize as the offensive struggles for the Cardinals continue, something they're not quite used to. Here's a corner three, and for the Cardinals, they're going to get a sigh of relief as that was Holmes wide open, and he couldn't drain it. A drive and a miss.
Yeah, if you're East Chicago, every three you've taken has come either off the catch from the side or unassisted entirely.
Trey Hinton, as you said earlier, Mike, he is feeling himself. He already has 10 points out of the 16 for the Cougars.
Yeah, if you're East Chicago, you can't let Trey Hinton catch the ball and pull up in rhythm, and that's what he's been able to do from the jump in this one.
You almost have to respect, and they're going to get a violation on the Cardinals, so another turnover on East Chicago Central. They're down by 10, but this is a team that has proven their toughness over and over again. There was a game earlier this year where they were going up against Hammond Morton, trailed by 11, and came back to win.
Yeah, the only thing is that you don't want to find yourself down 11 to this West Side team at home.
Three is off the front iron. Left short.
Yeah, it's a different beast playing against Gary Westside in their own gym, as the gym's now really getting packed here. They put the bleachers down behind us.
They were expecting a sellout crowd. Dominique Murphy with a shot. It's going to be and one.
Yeah, Dominique Murphy, he had an attempt earlier driving to the basket on the left side of the floor, and, he put up the runner and it just fell short. But as we look here on the replay, does a great job attacking to the rim, sees the defender in front, finishing through that contact. Dominique Murphy, that first basket of the game, you kind of thought to yourself, okay, he's going to really get involved here, as he kind of faked baseline and he, scored going across the middle from the left block. But, the half-court offense just hasn't been there yet. They've been seeming to force things, but so we're going to, see if there's going to be any more continuity on offense.
Well, here comes the press, and it's going to lead to a steal by good block there by Derek Collins Jr. Say no thank you. Setting it out of bounds, it'll still be Cardinal ball as Coach Marui is turning to the four-court press to see if he can get the Cardinals started on offense.
Yeah, like we mentioned right before tip, those kind of final thoughts, and, now we see for the first time, okay, Marui he's the first one to implement something different. Obviously, it comes down 7, but a great job getting into the press, getting a takeaway, and now they find themselves in the half-court setting.
Murphy pull up 3, no good. Ball was a 50-50 ball, and it's won by the Cardinals. And there's a battle down low. Murphy has it, gets it back out. They're going to get it to Walker. Walker for 3 off the back rim. Murphy leaping over everyone. He gets the rebound. They're still battling for it. Derek Collins Jr. gets it. They're pushing up to Hinton. Hinton up with the left hand, and Hinton capitalizes on the transition offense.
Great second chance and third chance efforts there by East Chicago. A great job by Bell to keep that possession alive, but they still come away empty and give up a transition basket.
3 referees, Clem Hollinsworth, Chris Harp, and Matt Gilson have been busy as of late on a lot of fouls on the Gary Westside Leadership Academy, as the Cougars are now going to bring in their tallest player by far. That is the 6'9" sophomore center, Tyler Cruz, who was actually on the top 5 slams in the state of Indiana on Max Preps.
Yeah, Tyler Cruz, otherworldly potential. And, just even to have him in here when it's a great sub if you're Coach Bugs, because, with less than a half a minute remaining, you put him in on defense, and he's somebody that can, protect the rim and someone that can get a rebound. And that's what East Chicago has shown so far in this game, is that they have gotten second chance opportunities.
First free throw is missed by Murphy. Murphy this season averaging 20 points, around 9 rebounds. His field goal percentage has been a solid 47%. Behind the arc, 35% as he splits the pair. And at the free throw line, around 69%. And that was what Coach was talking about. He said, I want to get everyone invested into the offense. I want everyone to get their shots, but I'd be crazy if I didn't drop some plays for Dominique Murphy and get him going every night. He goes, that's 20 points every night that I can count on.
Yeah, the clock hasn't been running there. It just stood pat at 14.5 seconds. So, the officials are going to have to consult with that. East Chicago comes out in the 1-2-1-1 press, and, that gets, broken through pretty quickly. But there should be far less time on the clock. We'll see if that gets adjusted.
Well, they did call a foul on the shot by Derek Collins Jr. So Derek Collins Jr. is going to get 3 free throw attempts. Collins Jr., you have to respect his ability to shoot from behind the arc. You saw it right there. He's averaging over 13 points a game and even scored 23 against Morton. He's knocked down 2 of the 3, but everyone's running up the floor. It's Tyler Cruz, who's about a head taller than everyone else on the floor. He's all the way on the other side.
Yeah, Tyler Cruz, he'll sit back there, as there's 12 seconds remaining in the first period here. Getting ready, and it's a great, sub in for defense.
12.2 seconds. So there's a good chance this will be the final possession of the first quarter. Currently 21-10 in favor of the home squad, the Gary Westside Leadership Academy Cougars. Murphy with 3 seconds. They're going to have to just chuck one up. Here's a shot from Bell, and Bell nails it. A little ice in his veins to close out this first quarter, as it was all Cougars from the jump. As we'll take a break, as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Don't go anywhere.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til to go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
You're watching Game Night in the Region on the internet at facebook.com/Region Sports, youtube.com/Region Sports, and regionsports.com. Andrew Mild, Mike Jamia, and Mike, for the Cougars, it was strength in numbers defensively, but offensively it began and ended with Trey Hinton, who had 10 points out of the 21 to get it started, and that's a good run for the Cougars, as there is a steal by the Cardinals. It looks like they went into a zone to start things off.
Yeah, great active hands by Yamari Wallace with the deflection. Ends up being a steal. And East Chicago, great overload to the left side, but a great job by Gary Westside by denying the ball to Murphy.
It's a settled 3 for London Walker. As Coach talked about London Walker with me, saying how there's a transition look for Harlem Rhodes, and he can't make it, and a foul's going to go on Anthony Holmes. But what he had to say about London Walker is how impressed he was that for Walker in his first 3 years, never had any varsity time. Then he shows up this year, draining threes on catch-and-shoot attempts. And he said just recently, teams have started to respect him and guard him out on the perimeter. So he said, now I got to try a little bit harder to get him some looks.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag. He's on the scouting report now for all these teams. And, that's what happens, when you get to the end of January, these guys that, have been grinding it out, you never really know when they're going to blossom. And, Walker has done just that.
Cardinals trying to sustain their offense after a rough first quarter. Here is a 3 attempt from Wallace, and he left it short as he was heavily contested over in that corner, hit and run the offense. As the Cougars get into their set, they lead by 8 here on their home floor. And there's a deep 3 from the parking lot, and it's nothing but net for Bryce Cooper.
Great screen to set that one up. Gary Westside really executing well in half court on offense.
Murphy can't respond with his own 3, and that's going to go out of bounds on Yamari Wallace.
And that's the thing, when you take a punch like that and you come up empty on that next possession and hardly any time gets off the clock, you find yourself having to go back and defend a team that's reversing the ball. It's a difficult task.
Well, Wallace gets the steal. Wallace with the shot, and he's going to hit on the arm. A foul on Trey Hinton, and if you're Coach Amari, you would like to see Hinton get a few more fouls, get him over to the bench, get him in foul trouble. That's only the thing that's been going up against these Cougars is they've committed a lot of fouls, I would say, in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point. And, if you get some critical guys to pick up a couple more here, with a couple minutes to go, and they find themselves having to sit on the bench for the remaining of the half, and that could be an opportunity for you to cut into this lead.
Both free throws made by Wallace to make it a single-digit game again, 24-15. Thanks for tuning in to the Region Sports Network. We're in the historic Cougar Den, and trying to get it down low was Harlem Rhodes to the very tall Tyler Cruz, and it was batted away and off the foot of Keontae Bell.
Yeah, great job by Murphy guarding two guys there. Rhodes, though, kind of takes that dribble in and, gets closer and to allow Murphy to guard both guys. But Murphy, great job nonetheless with the deflection there.
Here's a pull-up three, and that is drained by Derek Collins Jr. And that's been the story, is Hinton and Collins Jr., their three-point ability, getting some big shots for the Cougars against the Cardinals, and that stretches their lead to 12.
Yeah, the Cougars are red hot from beyond the arc.
Murphy gets a shot blocked by Cruz. That's why he's out there. Hits it in transition. He goes up and puts it down. And Coach Yamari of East Chicago Central has to take a timeout. His team is down 14. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mild, Mike Jamia on the call. And right now, Trey Hinton, the starting point guard for the Gary Westside Cougars, has been the story. He has 14 out of 29 for the Cougars, which is also impressive considering that East Chicago Central as a team has only scored 15 thus far. Pull-up jumper, and there's Murphy. It's going to be a long two. And Coach Buggs, it's his turn to take a timeout. He's upset about something as he was yelling at his team. Maybe they sagged off a little bit too much, but we'll keep it here.
Yeah, this is just going to be another 30 seconds for Coach Alama Rui for East Chicago to remind his guys to get out on these shooters, because Gary Westside has had clean looks all game so far from beyond the arc, and that has made all the difference in this one, really, because if you look at it, if you were to eliminate those three-point makes, this is a much closer game. Nonetheless, credit to Gary Westside because they've also scored from getting the ball into transition and getting stops. But that has been a big difference in this one so far. And if you're East Chicago, you got to start thinking that, okay, we're going to start making some shots here. So it's very, very important and it's critical that we get some stops to go along with those.
Both teams remind me of just a very modern-day basketball as it is. Everyone's positionless. Everyone can shoot a little bit. As it's Rhodes cutting into the lane, kicks it back out as he was getting guarded tightly by Winters, who's right in the middle of this 2-3 defense. Swinging it around and losing possession is Rhodes. Harlem Rhodes the son of the great Marcus Rhodes, a Mr. Indiana basketball candidate. It was his Cruz that missed the jumper. Harlem Rhodes been a leader here for the Cougars. Here's Murphy for three, and Murphy puts it down.
Catches that one in stride. Top of the arc, buries it. Back to work they go on defense, Cardinals.
Definition of a three-level scorer, Dominique Murphy, getting closer and closer to the record that belongs to E'Twaun Moore. That was a risky pass by Cruz. The shot is no good. Now will go off the hands of Dominique Murphy.
And that's the tough part about Cruz, is that when he's in the game offensively, they're going to double team him. They understand that he is, not, at the level yet. He's only a sophomore where he's going to be able to, do work and be effective against that double team. And he's more than likely either going to cough it up or, shoot for a miss. And that's what you're hoping for if you're Chicago.
Inbound play and one. That's knocked down by Collins Jr. Beautiful play there by Coach Bugs. It's going to lead to the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, so when we get a look at the replay here, we see that ball gets in, and he had his defender on his hip. And when you're lateral to your defender and you guys are parallel, you got him beat. You really do. And so he goes up through the contact and gets the N1.
Bell pushing it down the floor, and that shot is blocked by Cruz. That long wingspan paying off, and here is a transition three. No. The Cougar fans were about to blow the roof off the Cougar Den if they were able to make that three. And luckily for the Cardinals, it was just off.
Great job by Winters after getting blocked, going down and boxing out Cruz and to secure that rebound for his team.
Rich got hit. Collins going for the dunk, but he couldn't quite make it. Still go in. Wasn't a dunk, but it still counts 2 points.
Coach Marui upset at the no call there that led to that transition basket.
Yeah, his arm's been swinging ever since as Jameel Rich Jr., his 5'11 senior point guard that transferred over from 21st Century Charter, went up, and Coach Marui thought he got hit, but didn't get the call. And after that, Cougars in a track meet out here, running around the Cardinals and getting the 2 points. They're up 13 with 3:28 inbound play. Wallace in the post. Wallace up over Harlem Rhodes and gets 2 points.
Great patience. Way to recognize the mismatch in terms of height and score on the left block.
Here comes a three-point attempt, and it's off the front rim. Getting the offensive rebound was Holmes after his miss, but then he lost it trying to get into the paint. Murphy going baseline. Murphy seen a double team. Murphy out. They swing it, and it was Julks that lost it, and that's going to be a travel. Wallace tried to body up Anthony Holmes, but as he did, Holmes just pulled out the chair, and after that, it was Wallace that lost his footing, and then another turnover on the Cardinals.
Yeah, and East Chicago, they're trying to do some good things, but just a little sloppy on the execution. After getting that double team, almost would have been a triple team. Murphy gets the ball out in a very, very quick reversal, but DeAndre Timms kind of bumbles the pass and, just gives that defense a little extra time.
Trey Hinton with in and out, but it's cleaned up by Derek Collins Jr.
Derek Collins Jr., nobody boxed him out. He's going in for the offensive rebound. He's dangerous, too, with the ball in his hands and off the ball.
Wallace gets hit as he goes up. But following Coach Bugs and seeing his Twitter page, he had a lot of confidence in Derek Collins Jr. Already talking about how he has grown so much this year. He's really been the leader of this team. He's currently leading the team in points with 13.3 points, and he's having another good night right now, doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for those hoop fans out there that really tune into these games, one thing that really stands out to all of us with Derek Collins Jr. is just, he's got a killer crossover. He's got a killer crossover, and he can, get his shot up quickly, too. And it's going to be only a matter of time, before he becomes an even bigger threat. He's only a junior, too.
Wallace splits the pair. As it's Trey Hinton. Those two have been a dynamic duo all season long. Team's trying to figure out how to stop one of them. We got two of them that are excellent guards. Trey Hinton's a sophomore. Already got his first D1 offer from Northern Illinois University. It's Bryce Cooper who gets hit.
Yeah, very, very talented backcourt for the Cougars, and that's been a lot of the talk here, in Gary and, on the west side is, okay, so we got the talent, we got to go and we got to really, really start winning these games, and they've done just that, and they have a chance, like we mentioned earlier, for a conference title tonight.
Rhodes with the smart play right there. Saw the double team coming, dribble it back out. That's what I noticed a lot. That's what popped out in the film on Harlem Rhodes is his high IQ play. Here's the shot. They're going to get a charge on Bryce Cooper. Smart move there by Murphy. Not only good offensively, but good awareness there on defense to take one to the chest and maybe get some momentum for the East Chicago Central Cardinals, who are down by a dozen.
Yeah, you're talking about high IQ. Murphy's one of those guys as well. Murphy, sees the ball coming downhill and, sets up for it, stays strong, and gets the call.
Murphy also has a good amount of D1 offers, and you got to think if you're one of the scouts that you're going to like, as that one's cleaned up by Gregory Williams, who just checked into the game, making his presence felt. He's a 6'7" junior forward who's only partook in 10 games. He's only averaging half a point a game, but right there, he got 2, and he might get 3.
Yeah, Williams is tough, holds his position there in the lane the entire time. He's got a good nose for the basketball there, and, through contact, not only does he get the offensive rebound, but he gets fouled as he puts in the basket.
He had 1 point heading into this game. That was against Portage on a free throw. 3, Collins, no. Murphy there again. He averages 9 rebounds a game. He goes to his left, pulls up from the free throw line, and that is money.
Yeah, that's just bread and butter for Dominique Murphy, going to his left, going to his right. It doesn't make a difference, folks.
Rhodes trying to respond, but he left it short. Good interior defense. And the ball gets thrown out of bounds. All the Cardinals fans sitting here in front of us, throwing their hands up as they knew that was 2 free points for the Cardinals, as Wallace was down there all by himself. And just one of those plays that they're going to talk about after. It seems like every time the Cardinals try to get into it, there's a play like that that seems to stall the momentum. 3 ball, and there we go again for Bryce Cooper.
We've seen that action earlier, freeing up a shooter on the screen. And it's just, if you're East Chicago, you got to be talking on defense. You got to be able to stick your man, go over that, talk, communicate, maybe even switch, something the coaches are going to have to look at in the next minute here once they get themselves in the locker room.
Ball gets batted around. Here comes Hinton. Hinton down the lane. Hinton up with the right hand. He gets fouled, so he'll get to go to the line for a pair. But Bryce Cooper, I'm having some deja vu, Mike. That's now the second time he has made a 3. That has to be from NBA range.
I mean, yeah, that's the range that, he's getting these attempts at, and because the reason why is because that screen is set, I don't want to say it's set high because it really isn't, but it's at the free throw line extended, and so there's only so much space. So if you're comfortable shooting from the white line, not the three-point line, but the line behind that, you're able to really get yourself going here if you're comfortable at that range, and he clearly is at that distance.
Both free throws missed by Hinton. Currently an 11-point game. Murphy pull up 3. Murphy off the back rim. Rebound gathered in by Wallace, and Wallace gets smacked. The foul's going to go on Tyler Cruz. He now has a couple of fouls, and this will lead to 2 free throws.
Yeah, good offensive rebound by Wallace, but an even better job of having the strength, the confidence, and just the understanding to try to draw contact there, get to the free throw line, give Cruz a foul, and doing that, a lot of times you see a guy that is as big as Cruz, and if you get an offensive rebound and he's standing in front of you, a lot of guys want to go right up, or they kind of want to fall away. He does the complete opposite. He steps into him, and he goes up through contact.
Mari Wallace knocks down both free throws, and East Chicago Central Cardinals head coach Ala Marui talked a lot about Yamari Wallace when I was talking to him. He's saying this guy doesn't pop off the paper when it comes to his stats, but whenever I need someone to step up, he's that guy in whatever role I need him in. He goes, he's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he does everything that you ask for as a coach. I mean, right there is a great example of what he does on the offensive glass.
Great pass by Cooper, feeding Harlem Rhodes, who's wide open on the back cut. 2 more points for the Cougars. They're up by 11. There's 13 seconds. and it looks like the Cardinals are going to hold it for one last shot. They did hit the shot to end the first quarter. Can they repeat it here to end the first half? A lot of dribbling. Here's a deep three, and that goes down. Isaiah Julks will close out the first half with a three. And for the East Chicago Central Cardinals, they had to fight in this first half. They're down by 8 going into halftime as the Cougars, they've been sound defensively and offensively, but that was still all around a very exciting first half of play.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's interesting, too, the way, history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it often rhymes, is that at the end of the first period, they're down 11, they hit a 3 to cut it to 8. At the end of the second period, they're down 11, they hit a 3 to cut it to 8. But you're going to have to do everything in between. It's just not in those last 20 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see, what these coaches change in the locker room and the adjustments that they make, and ultimately if players are able to execute.
It's halftime here from Gary Westside Leadership Academy as the Cougars lead 40-32. We'll step away for a moment. We'll be right back as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Develop skills that will last for a lifetime with an apprenticeship with the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers Local 4, Indiana, Kentucky. The apprenticeship and training program is committed to developing highly skilled bricklayers, terrazzo workers, and ceramic tile setters to provide the construction industry with the best hands in the business. If you are currently working non-union and want better pay with benefits, or if you think learning a new skill with a paid apprenticeship while you earn your associate's degree is the right path for you, visit baclocal4.org/training to learn more about the apprenticeship program. Are you built to succeed?
This box is small, like Pet Supplies Plus. This one is large, like a big box store. In each, Stu, has carefully hidden a toy. Question is, which dog will find it first? Ta-da! Moose, no! You were so close!
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903. Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
How far would you go to live another game night in the region? Well, lucky for you, you don't have to go far at all. At Region Sports Network, we have a collection of over thousands of games, ranging from last week to the 1960s. Now, you can relive the thrilling victories, heartbreaking defeats, and all the things that make Region Sports so great. Talk to us here at RSN and help us remember the region. Please visit Remember the Region with the link on the screen or through our link tree found on all of our social media platforms. Hashtag Remember the Region.
You're watching Game Night in the Region on the internet at facebook.com/regionsports, youtube.com/regionsports, and regionsports.com. We're at halftime with less than 4.5 minutes before both teams will be back on the floor with some exhilarating action. Andrew Mild and Mike Jamia from Gary, Indiana. And Mike, we have the unofficial stats in front of us right here. What is something that has stood out to you now looking at these stats?
Well, the stats help, but, I mean, really, it's clear even without them, and it's the fact that EC's only shooting 32% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc. Gary Westside, a good 23 points better, 55% from the field and 42% from the arc. And that's really the difference, because when you look at it, their rebounding numbers are similar, their turnover numbers are similar. You know, points off the bench is, you know, that's all very relative, but that big difference is just they're making more shots.
Yeah, that's the big thing right now. It's the only difference when you have two teams that play very similarly with their really good defense. They're trying to get out on offense, even take some transition threes. But how many times did we say when the game started that the Cardinals were getting shots from right underneath the basket and were leaving them short or just off?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is that they've missed from, you know, all over the floor, really. I mean, they've missed, you know, a good number of threes. I mean, they made a couple threes to end each period in the first half, but they've missed on threes. They've missed, you know, at the rim. But it's one of those things where they haven't done a great job of moving the Gary Westside defense. Not many ball reversals, not many possessions where, you know, the defense has to, you know, shift multiple times before a shot gets taken. They're really allowing Gary Westside to get entrenched in where they are defensively, and they're not giving them much reason to budge, and that's one of the reasons why Gary Westside, credit to them by staying disciplined, but you're not, if you're East Chicago, you haven't done a good job of making it hard on the defense, right? These shots, a lot of times, it's almost like you're bailing out that defense. Like you're taking, you know, a pass from the side, you know, from the top of the key to the right side of the floor, and you're just pulling up for a three. The defense hadn't moved, you know? So it's one of those things where on offense, you're going to have to move the ball more if you're East Chicago to get better looks.
And for Coach Buggs, that's a testament to him, who is in his 9th season as head coach of these Cougars. He's 96 and 103 overall. But what pops off the board to me with Coach Buggs is that he has produced a ton of D1 basketball players. Of course, the big one is Jalen Washington, who's currently at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And he talks about strength in numbers. He's got himself a really young team, and you wouldn't think that after watching him in the first half.
No, they're playing well beyond their age and their experience. And this one so far, you know, they've done a great job at moving the ball on offense. You know, we just talked about East Chicago. That's one area of an improvement for them. But for Gary Westside, they just got to keep it going with that because they've done a great job moving the ball. They've done a great job at setting screens, you know, freeing up their shooters for good open looks. And this is a team that likes to get out and run too. And with the stops that they've gotten, they have gotten points in transition as well. And that's made the big difference in this one.
1 minute to go. Currently, East Chicago Central is sitting down with their 23-year-old coach talking about the game plan. Gary Westside now heading over to their bench to talk a little bit. As the score is 40-32. The Cougars have led the entire way against the Cardinals. Mike, going to this second half, what do you think the Cardinals need to do to turn this thing around and walk away with a victory tonight?
I think they need to get the ball inside to Dominique Murphy, and that will open up Rich and Keontae Bell for some inside out threes, right? Where they're catching it, from, the inside area, the basket area, getting the ball into their shot pocket and going up and getting looks. Especially if they get the ball to Dominique Murphy. One thing that Gary Westside has shown the propensity to do is throw multiple guys at him. And there were a couple times during the first half where East Chicago was looking to get a good quick ball reversal and they just didn't execute. They need to keep doing that, and eventually they'll be able to, get some better looks. Once they generate those looks, they'll be able to knock down some shots and get themselves right back into it. And that's what Ali Marua is hoping to do.
We are back to action, and we'll start with the Cardinals. Keontae Bell running the point, getting it over to Jameel Rich Jr. Rich was awfully quiet in that first half. They'll look to try and get him going. That was a risky pass. Bell hits the ground, but Derek Collins Jr. is going to get tagged with the foul.
Yeah, that's a dangerous pass there from the left short corner to the right wing. It's not what you want to do there. You want to get a ball reversal, but, just kind of take it one pass at a time. But I like the idea of getting the ball into Wallace on the left block and, being able to get ball reversals and create.
Jameel Rich Jr., the point guard, trying to get open. He gets the ball, getting fed by Bell. But Coach talked about him a lot with me, talking about how mature he is for his age. They're feeding it down low to Murphy. Murphy with the move. He can't put it in as it won't go. Rebound by the Cougars. They're trying to get into the transition, but the Cardinals are really retreating. That's the benefit of going down low. So you're letting your guys also get back and stop their transition game.
Yeah, they went a little too low, though, as, there wasn't a whole lot of real estate there for Murphy.
Rhodes just chucks it up, and that one got ricocheted by one of the Cardinal defenders. A lot of red jerseys down there, so not sure which one it was. No argue to see who gets that block. Murphy getting double teamed, back out. Rich going to dribble it back out. He didn't see anything.
And see, that's the thing right there. When Rich catches that ball on the left wing, he's got to reverse that to the top of the key much quicker. Get
Wallace
a good ball reversal.
Loses the handle, and there's a steal. Murphy going up. Murphy's going to throw it down. It's a 6-point game. This is the closest the Cardinals have been for quite some time. I would say since the first half. When the first half concluded, it was an 8-point game.
Couple stops, couple scores, flip the script.
Here comes Collins down the lane, and a little bit of jelly. Hitting it off the glass and putting it in. Derek Collins Jr. so far might be your Crown Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game, the way he's been playing early on in this game.
Yeah, and that's a candidate for play of the game, too. Beautiful finish around Murphy, who just walled up and went straight up, vertical, did everything you're supposed to do, and, just a tougher basket.
Rich Jr. has his shot blocked as Bryce Cooper, one half of the Cooper twins, his brother Kyle, also on the team. Also have a dad that played college basketball at DePaul over in Chicago in the Big East Conference. Just fired their head coach last week after they lost to Butler. And there's a basket by Yamari Wallace. Coach saying that's his Swiss Army knife, and that they needed him to be a glass cleaner and a scorer tonight. He's done that so far. Ball tipped up into the air. It's one-on-one. Height difference for Murphy's advantage, and there's Murphy. He saw the much smaller Trey Hinton and went right at him, and he got the bucket. 4-point game. Cardinals coming out swinging here, Mike.
Yep, couple stops have led to a couple scores. Chipping away at it. There's a lot of basketball left to be played.
Nice pass by Cooper, and that's going to be 2 points for Barnes. You have to respect the range of Cooper. He made 2 threes from the parking lot. It was impressive to see in that first half. And right there, little shovel pass down low, and Barnes, you could have went over to the concession stand. He was so wide open. He got 2 points.
Yeah, great dump-off pass there. Good basket down low. Wallace just a little bit late on that.
Murphy, spin move in the lane, pull-up jumper, and Dominique Murphy.
He's very, very comfortable from the elbows and inside that and around that free throw line.
That is an easy look, but it's a miss by Cooper. Of course, he can make it from the parking lot, but can't make it from 5 feet underneath the basket. Usually how it goes for 3-point shooters. As the Cardinals down by 4. They could make this a single possession game again. Bell trying to make a move, but he's going to get back to Wallace. Wallace mishandles it. Wallace with the shot, in and out. Oh.
Yeah, that would have been a very tough shot by Wallace. But the thing is, though, is that you get the ball to the top of the key. Great idea by Wallace to drive and, draw that other defender. But he didn't look to the left corner, and that would have been an open 3 attempt, for East Chicago, and it would have been an inside-out 3 as well. Another thing they got to be trying to do more of.
Coach Bugs takes the timeout, and we'll take a quick break as you're watching Game Nights in the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til to go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. Coach Bugs taking his first timeout. Coach Bugs been a part of this Gary Westside program for quite some time. He's a part of that 2002 4-8 state championship team. Now he's here coaching the Cougars, trying to get them back to the big stage. He had them very close a few years ago when they had Washington, but they fell just short. And right now he's got to feel pretty confident with the group of guys he has now. Let's see if they can respond after the timeout, Mike. 3 ball on its way, no good. Cleaned up by the guy who missed a shot, Anthony Holmes. Anthony Holmes doing a good job of following his shot. He'll get 2 points for his efforts.
Out of the timeout, East Chicago Central gets into a 2-3 zone. They give up an opportunity for Holmes to shoot a 3. He passes it up. On the second go-round, he gets the ball, lets it fly, follows his own shot for the basket. But that right there is, a great thing to do if you're Coach Alam Marui, is that you're going to have to throw different defense, but ultimately you're going to have to do a better job moving the ball around on offense. We'll see what they do here.
Palma tagged with that foul as Jameel Rich Jr. went down the lane. Murphy in the post, getting guarded by Cruz, who just came in. His hand was down, and hand down, man down. Murphy taking advantage of that, knocking the shot down. It's a 4-point game again. He is red hot here in the third quarter.
Yeah, if Dominique Murphy can see even a piece of that rim, he's open.
A missed shot by Collins. It's being batted around. Murphy with the block. And there's another shot by Barnes, and he gets hit by Wallace.
Yeah, that's an interesting call there. I mean, great job by Murphy timing his jump and getting that block, and it looked like Wallace was kind of just standing straight up, walled up, didn't really move anywhere, but he gets whistled and the foul goes against him, and Coach Maru is going to have a conversation with the official.
Wallace with his third foul, so that's something you have to closely monitor as the game goes along. So he's currently in foul trouble, but Coach Alam Marui is not really taking the starters out. They've got a lot of minutes as London Walker over to the scorer's table late. The second shot goes in by Barnes, so he splits the pair. It's 47-42, a 5-point game. And that was another story that I thought was interesting looking at the stats for the West Side. They only shot 50% from the free throw line, so they've left some points on the table.
Yeah, they have, and it's just going to be one of those things where...
Nice pass to Murphy. That was a gorgeous pass by Marquise Winters, a bounce pass, and Murphy timed it up perfectly. He now has 23 points.
I love going to a set there, especially you go into a 2-3 zone, you get the ball, you're able to walk it up the court, you want to get into a set.
Risky pass, throwing it to Hinton. That looked more like a football safety there.
Yeah, go figure. As soon as I say that, the next possession, Murphy's trying to throw it 90 feet, but, he pats himself on the chest as if to say, my bad. But, you just get it, make up for it on defense right here. If you're East Chicago, if you're Gary Westside, you want to make them pay because you're only up 3, and that lead has now dwindled.
I got 2 words for you, Mike. Broadcasters, jinx. It happens all the time. Shot from Cruz. Cruz from the mid-range. See the ball hit off the iron a few times, but it's a rebound by Collins. And the defense there by the Cardinals disturbs the shot. And the Cardinals in a single possession game, they're down by 3. Attacked by Bell. And Bell will get the charge foul tacked to him, running right into Bryce Cooper.
Yeah, Keontae Bell, great job sticking with it on the defensive end. Brings up the ball, and, he's a lot to control. He's very shifty, gets himself into the lane very easily there. But, that's one of the hardest calls to make is that block charge. If you're Coach Marui, you don't want to coach your team away from that pace. But then again, a jump stop saves your life every once in a while.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Cougars have led the entire way. They're up by 3. Thank you for tuning in to the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Andrew Mild and Mike Jamia. And the ball is off the Cardinals as Coach Alamarui thinks that should have been off the Cougars.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was maybe even motioning that it could have been a kick ball or something like that, but nonetheless, East Chicago's still going to hunker down defensively.
Cooper from a deep 3, and that's the 3rd time he's done that tonight. My goodness, Bryce Cooper.
Yeah, that busts up your defense real quick. You're looking to get a sub now as Lamar Smith's going to check into the game.
Murphy attacking. Murphy draws a foul on Anthony Holmes, and that's Holmes' 3rd. Coming back in for the Cardinals is Timms. They're going to get London Walker a breather. And the late sub for the Cougars, Harlem Rhodes, coming in for Holmes, who just got his 3rd foul added. 6-point game. That shot from Cooper was a huge one, making it a double possession game again. Shot is off by Murphy. Cooper down the lane. Cooper had it stolen away for a moment, but Rhodes was able to gather it. Here's the shot as Collins with the leaner puts it in, and it's back to an 8-point game.
Yeah, and that's a tough situation there for East Chicago in terms of how that one played out. Bell and Smith do a great job of getting back. Lamar Smith just checks into the game, gets a deflection there, almost a steal, but not everyone else got back in time, and they still allowed for a transition basket. You're going to have to clean it up defensively, especially in moments like that where you can get the basketball and takeaway.
Murphy, who has 23 points, misses another shot for the 5 starters out there for the Cardinals. Tim, the only one off the bench, as Wallace, currently in foul trouble, is off the floor. The Cougars having a hard time getting into the paint, and a good double clutch there by Cooper. But that is some good IQ there by Keontae Bell, getting into the chest of Cooper and forcing him to step on the white line. A turnover, and can Lightning strike for the 3rd time, Mike?
I've seen crazier things, actually. Especially I've seen crazier things in a 3rd period. Just not too long ago, East Chicago Central held the ball for almost the entire quarter against Portage. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in a 3rd quarter. So we'll see here, but
5 seconds. Bell getting the screen. 2 seconds. He gets it down low. The shot by Winters, and Lightning indeed does strike for the 3rd different time as the Cardinals have ended each period with a buzzer beater.
Yeah, and that's when you're a coach, that's one of the things that you want to do is you always want to end the quarter on the last made basket. You always want to land the last punch of a round, as that could sway the judges, but you're going to have to do more in this 4th quarter. But what you do, though, is you bring yourself into a very manageable deficit. You're only down 6, and 3 stops, 3 scores gets you the lead right away. So, it's a matter of chipping away at it. But East Chicago Central in that 3rd quarter did a better job defensively in the half court, especially guarding, in the backcourt. So, it's just going to be one of those things where if they can clean it up elsewhere.
some station identifications. We have 30 seconds to go until we start the fourth period. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the internet at facebook.com/regionsports, youtube.com/regionsports, and regionsports.com. Mike, we've had a lot of fun here tonight. Can't believe we're only one quarter to go. It's a 6-point game, and for me, it was all Cardinals for both those first 5 minutes, but for those final 3, the Cougars settled down after Coach Buggs' timeout, and that's when they started hitting some shots and playing some better defense.
Yeah, no, this Cougars team has been fighting all game, tooth and nail. You know, they've done a good job of not relinquishing the lead as they've gone, so far they've gone wire to wire in this one. But, their lead now only 6 going into this final frame of regulation, and they have the ball to start.
So we get into this fourth quarter, 8 minutes on the clock, and it's starting to tick. Both coaches pride themselves on the toughness of both their clubs. The question has to be asked, who's going to want it more here at the end? Murphy, bringing it up.
2-3 zone for East Chicago Central to start. Murphy with the basketball.
Spin, shot, Murphy, no. Rebound, it's swatted away as there's bodies hitting the floor. A good hustle play by Keaton Barnes. Here comes Collins. Collins puts it in.
Collins been having a sensational game in this one. But again, like you mentioned, the effort by Barnes.
Nice pass to Winters, but Winters looked and saw that Harlem Rose was timing it up perfectly, and he missed the shot. But for Derek Collins, he has been the star tonight as he glided down the lane. He's going to get a breather. Coach Buggs talking to him, walking him over to the bench, looking like they might save him for the final 5 minutes of this contest. They're up 8. Inbound play. It's just going to be a long pass the bell by the half-court line. Wallace trying to get to Murphy, but Murphy has 2 Cougars on him. Not going to be able to feed him down low when that's happening.
No, and Westside's now in a 2-3 zone as well, and they're going to really look to key in on Murphy. Murphy at the top of that, the top of the key right now.
And that's going to be a backcourt violation. But Bell thought that pass might have been tipped by one of the Cougars. There were 2 in the vicinity, but none of the referees picking up on that.
Yeah, and a lot of people at home, you may look at that like, oh, man, sloppy, like, okay, East Chicago, they did something there, kind of gave one to Gary Westside. No, folks, don't forget that was a great jump ball to get the possession arrow on your side and then get a stop after that.
Anthony Holmes puts it in. It's a 10-point game, and Coach Marui going to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them. As you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mild here on the play-by-play. Joining me is Mike Jamia as we return from the timeout. Mike, if you're coach, what were you saying to your team going into that timeout?
Well, if you're Coach Buggs, you're saying we're going to stick in this 2-3 zone. We're going to make East Chicago beat us from the outside, one thing they haven't been able to do all night.
They've struggled from three-point land, and there's Keontae Bell with the tray ball and was able to knock it down. As you're right, Mike, it has really been a struggle tonight for the Cardinals from behind the arc. Coach Buggs recognizing that, getting away from the man-to-man to run it to that zone and force them to take those 3. Nice crossover, shot mid-range, in and out.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. Killer crossover, Collins Jr. My goodness, it left his defender in the dust. And, just missed there, from the free throw line distance jumper as East Chicago is going to roll this one out.
Well, when you wear the number 3, I feel like you have to have a good killer crossover.
Yeah.
Of course, alluding to the great Allen Iverson.
Yeah. And, there'll be a stoppage in play as they're going to need to put more time on the clock. The clock should not have started. They should put it back to 6:03, I believe. They put it to 6:01 after it was at 5:59. We'll see if they adjust it even more so.
I do remember earlier on in the game, Coach Marui was pretty upset that the clock didn't get started, and it led to Derek Collins Jr. getting fouled from behind the arc. So 3 free points for him at that instance. That was in the first half, and you saw it perfectly. There was 13 seconds, and all of a sudden it was still at 13 when the shot went up.
Yeah, whenever you find yourself coaching and being on the bench, your instincts kind of just kick in. You just know that something's wrong, right? And you kind of keep your eye on it. They do end up changing it to 6:03, and here we go.
It's almost like that sixth sense. Your spidey senses were tingling. Dominique Murphy has been the superhero thus far. He needs one more rebound to get a double-double. Got a good amount of those already on his already stacked resume. Number 23 has 23 points. He gets it to Wallace. Wallace left it just a little long, and a foul on Winters as he put both hands into the back of Keaton Barnes, and just the second foul on Winters. The first on the Cardinals here in this fourth and final period.
Yeah, they get the ball into Murphy at the elbow and, kicks out to the open man there. I'm curious to see if Coach Marui's got sets against the 2-3 zone that he'll employ with 5.5 to go, finding himself down 10.
And Murphy with the block. A rejection. Wallace putting it up, and Wallace putting it in.
That's a tough transition basket by Yamori Wallace.
A challenge there as Collins went into the chest of Murphy, and Murphy's been playing some stellar defense. This is a steal from the Cardinals. Wallace against Hinton. Wallace gets fouled as he goes to the ground. Wallace has really started camping out at that free throw line in the first half. This is his first trip in the second half. But hey, it might be the defense that kickstarts the offense for the East Chicago Central Cardinals.
Yeah, Collins earlier, he had a great tough basket that's a candidate for play of the game against Dominique Murphy when Dominique Murphy went straight up. He went around him and he used the backboard, put some English on it. This time he tries to go through him like a tank. Does not end up with a positive result for himself. And East Chicago again with the stop, and they find themselves at the line.
Amari Wallace, the hero of that Portage game where he chucked up a shot, sank it at the buzzer to win 48-47. Maybe he'll be the hero in the fourth quarter again. You never know. And another steal. The Cardinals all over their place.
Winters, huge steal there, anticipating that. And look at this poise from the Cardinals right now. They slow it down. Beautiful
nice pass. Winters, who got the steal. He'll get 2 points. 4-point game. They were leading by 10 in this fourth period. Winters going up and a rejection. Wallace was able to haul that in. Here's a three. He knocks it down. A huge run for the Cardinals. It's a 1-point game. And Coach Bugs has no choice. He's got to take a timeout. As the Cardinals faithful are in jubilation. They're back in this game, Mike.
Like we were saying, defense leading to offense. You get the steal, but you do not speed yourself up. You play poise. You find the guy down low for the basket. Great job there, but it's this block it looks like it got blocked twice, off the rim. Our replay ends up cutting out at a very convenient time, I will say that, and because it looks like he may have stepped out of bounds right there, and so therefore that three would be negated. However, there is no instant replay. There is no going to the officials booth in high school basketball, so the three stands, and that's just the way the game goes, folks. But you at home you can slow it down, and you can in the comments tell us what you think. But it looks like he may have stepped on that baseline, but nonetheless, you continue to play the game. And now East Chicago finds himself up 1 with 4.5 to go in the fourth.
The couch referees in the comments for this contest, but looks like most of East Chicago has made the 16-minute trip here to Gary, Indiana, as they all rose as that shot went up and then it went down, and it was Jameel Rich Jr. I haven't said his name a lot tonight, but he stepped up at a really big time.
And that's the thing, at halftime we were talking about Jameel Rich going to have to find himself getting involved by getting inside-out threes. That's exactly what happened there, and he buried it.
Coach Marui getting into it as if he's out there playing defense. They need another stop. Cooper, deep three. Cooper, no. Rebound. Cooper attacking. Cooper has his shot swatted, but a foul is called on Winters.
Winters tried to reject that one into the Cougars bench, but, he gets whistled for the foul. You got to be careful when you do that, as he did that downward motion. But great job for Gary Westside. Barnes with the offensive rebound, keeping the possession alive.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Winters is trying to send that into their bench or send it up here with us, up here in the cheap seats watching the game, but a great view at this beautiful venue. What's the old saying? Massachusetts invented basketball, but Indiana perfected it. This is the 10th largest high school basketball arena in not just the state, but the country, Mike.
Yes, and 8 of the top 10 largest high school gyms in America are here in Indiana.
Just want to put that out there to anyone else that might be from out of state. This is no small game for either side. Starting to get that feel as if we're in March already.
Great Lakes Conference Championship on the line tonight.
Coach Almaruri talked about how he wants some success in March, and he's getting that feel. Nice move by Rich. Faked the pass and sent Collins going to the right.
Rich with the step-through finish deep inside for 2.
And there's a steal. Rich, crossover. Going to the free throw line, kicking it out. Good reset there. Talking about Jameel Rich Jr., a high IQ play right there, not forcing anything, getting into a set offense. There's less than 3.5 minutes in this game. 58-57 Cougars. One more shot made, and the Cardinals have the lead. They get to the right guy. He gets rejected. Anthony Holmes with the smack right onto the ball.
And they whistled Wallace for a foul after the rejection. As we get a look here. Oh, they called him for a reach there after the rejection by Barnes. That's a crucial foul, as that's his 4th one of the contest.
He's had a couple of those reach-in fouls tonight. Collins, nice pass, but Jameel Rich Jr. was there to knock it out of the hands of Barnes, who's right underneath the basket.
Collins learned his lesson from last time. He caught Murphy at the rim in the air, and he tried to go through him like a tank. Not a positive result. Instead, he goes for the pass there, and they get the ball underneath out of bounds.
Wallace is going to take a break. Want to save him for the crucial time. Hinton, Trey can't hit the tray ball. 3 minutes. This is exactly what we thought this game was going to be like.
There was great action on the last offensive possession for East Chicago. We'll see if they get right back to it. As they do, they look to reverse it and free up Murphy, perhaps on a screen and roll.
They got it into the corner to Timms. Timms has got some limited minutes tonight, and Coach Alamaruri is going to take a timeout. As Alamaruri will now have 1 timeout remaining for the rest of this game. 58-57. Mike, it's really been thrilling. What's it got to take for either side to walk away with the win?
I mean, look, I know it sounds so cliche, but it comes down to execution. It really does. I mean, that last possession offensively for East Chicago, they executed it really well. But a great job by Gary Westside to get a help side block and then, get the rebound and then get fouled 90 feet away from the basket, right? And that's not indicative of East Chicago not executing on offense. That's not it at all. It was just a better executed play on the defensive end. And that's going to be the difference in this one. These teams know each other. These coaches know each other. They've scouted each other. They've played. They are now playing for a conference championship. It's going to take that much more, those extra details, to come away victorious.
A rivalry being reborn between the Gary Westside Cougars and the East Chicago Central Cardinals. It's the 43rd meeting between these two since 1993. The Cougars have dominated this rivalry. They've won 22 out of the 42, but the Cardinals trying to get back into it. They'll start off with the ball, inbounding it from the side. Rich Jr., he stepped up late here in the fourth, been awfully quiet. Coach credits him for his maturity, coming over and already developing a chemistry with these guys. Back in the game is Wallace, and Wallace is going to give the Cardinals the lead.
Wallace on the left block goes middle.
Bad
Great
pass,
basket.
stolen, but Rich is going to get called for a backcourt violation, and Coach Marui about jumped out of the gym. He doesn't agree with the call there.
We've been seeing this night in and night out about this backcourt violation, about the 2 feet and the ball going past the half-court center line. And Coach Marui is saying he did not. He simply touched it. He did not. And so, he's upset with the officials, but all you can do now is play defense.
2 minutes to go. A lot of Cardinals fans in front of us with hands on their heads, some getting their phones out, thinking they're going to see something special right here. Hinton, pull up, Hinton hits, and Hinton's shot is long. And Coach Marui, not upset with the call, but rather upset with his defense right there. There's no need to foul in that situation, Mike.
Yeah, and that's tough because you want to get a contest because Hinton's been red hot all night. But it's one of those things where you try to contest without fouling, easier said than done. But Yamari Wallace is going to check back in, folks, and he has 4 fouls himself. So it is not a good situation here late for the Cardinals when it comes to the fouls.
Yeah, now you have to play the foul game with exactly 2 minutes to go. Wallace was out there offensively, and they took him out. Shot misses as Hinton splits a pair, and that means one thing, Mike. We're tied with less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, and with another rebound, Dominique Murphy with another double-double, 20 and 10-plus rebound effort tonight.
Here's Hill. He gets the screen with the left hand, and Jameel Rich Jr. going downhill, getting 2 points. Lead back for the Cardinals. They wanted a backcourt violation. Here comes the floater. It's deterred by Murphy. They're going to down low to Wallace. Wallace right hand. It's a 4-point game. My goodness gracious. The East Chicago Central Cardinals have come storming back here in the fourth period. They lead by 4 with 76 seconds on the clock. Wow.
Yeah, and they'll take a full timeout, and they'll really have to talk this one over because East Chicago, they have made some adjustments, and that has especially come in the fact of their half-court offense. They're playing with more poise, more composure. That Rich, he gets that screen right there, and really it's more so just his teammate sealing just above that right block, and he just goes downhill and on the right side finishes with the left hand. This is a very, very capable ball club to score in bunches that they also do in transition, and it has just been a full-out effort, as they've stormed back in this one.
Stormed back, roaring back. The East Chicago Central Cardinals being led by their young head coach, lead by 4. But you have to remember, on the other side, you have a very experienced coach, Bugs. He's been in this situation before. He's not scared. He knows he has a shot to get back into this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, Coach Bugs talking to his guys right now. Listen, you have to value the basketball. You have to get stops here. You've done a great job, playing defense most of this night, but now that they're, getting ball reversals, now that they're moving the defense, you have to be in position. You cannot be late on rotations. You have to talk out there. Yes, it is a huge game. You're playing for a conference championship, but you got to execute. That's what it's all about.
Wallace out of the game again, as he has 4 fouls. He's the one that just made the shot to make it a 4-point game. Full court press, a little light press here.
Yeah, that 1-2-2, and then we'll see if they fall back into man or a zone.
Cooper with the Euro step, and Cooper is able to get that one to tickle the twine on the way down. Less than a minute.
They beat the pressure. They get a basket. See how the Cardinals respond.
Big possession here. Hinton guarding Jameel Rich Jr., and Rich Jr. didn't need to take that shot. He missed it. And Coach Bugs is going to use his last timeout. He sprinted and looked up at the scoreboard, and he saw the clock stop at 42.4. Coach Bugs, we said it. He's not scared from this situation. Went to that timeout, came back out, got a big shot by Hinton, and then got the miss from Rich. They're 1 2-pointer away from tying this game.
Yeah, and that's a tough decision, making that timeout there. In this close of a game with 42 seconds, a lot can happen. And it did seem like, after that stop, his guys seemed a little bit sped up. But it's interesting, calling that timeout, because now you're going to have to kind of discuss them as you go across the rest of this game, what you're going to do. And credit to Coach Marui, coming out in that 1-2-2, throwing them a different look. I mean, yes, it didn't work necessarily, right, as they kind of broke that pressure and they got a basket out of it. But still, though, that's what happens. It's harder to think and to see the floor and to do all those things, the tighter the game is. And it all comes down to fundamentals. And fundamentals, they just get revealed late games and situations. Everyone can be fundamental, and we have 42 seconds left in the first quarter. But 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter, in a 2-point ball game, we'll see who's got it.
They're going to give it to Hinton. Here's a very soft press as it's Winters, who made some great defensive plays to get the Cardinals started. Trey Hinton for a 3. No! Hinton with the rebound. Hinton tosses it up. Too strong. Ball goes out of bounds. Cardinal ball. Applauding his hands together is Keontae Bell.
Ball screen, left attack area, East Chicago with the switch. Dominique Murphy with the contest. Contested a little too much, got himself out of position for the rebound, but still getting a stop after, being able to follow your shots. And now the Cardinals come away with the basketball up too.
Wallace has been up and down on the bench, almost like an elevator. He splits the defenders, and they're going to call a foul. And that's just the third on the Cougars. So they still have some to go until they can send the Cardinals to the line.
Coach Marui said that Yamari Wallace is somebody that does everything I ask. He's now being asked in this situation to hold on to the ball, possess the ball, and he has done so.
Nice pass, no look, Winters, no, that's Murphy cleaning it up.
Running your lanes, playing fundamental. Dominique Murphy on the weak side cleans it up for 2.
Who else? Big-time players make big-time plays. Dominique Murphy with a great rebound and putting it in as all the Cardinals fans are waving at the Cougar faithful on the other side. We didn't mention this is a big rivalry, and it's really starting to feel that way with 8 seconds to go.
Yeah, no, it's just making these plays down the stretch here. We'll queue up another replay for you. Great, 3-on-1 there. Dominique Murphy running his lane, gets the cleanup right there. Basket's good. That's a dagger as 8 seconds down 4. You're looking for a rosary.
East Chicago Central Cardinals, they're pretty happy right now, all their fans. And that's a testament to their young coach. He talks about one thing a lot on his Facebook page, and me and him talked about it yesterday. Cardinal pride is something he's talked about. It's the rich history in being the East Chicago Central Cardinals. It's the rich history of their basketball program that has seen a lot of success. Not as late, though, but he's saying not only on the floor, but off the floor, and you're starting to see that Cardinal pride start to spread throughout this part of the state. Look at all these fans getting fired up here in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, Coach Marui just looked to the fans behind his bench and yelled for everyone to get up.
And they're going to poke that ball away, and there's the shot. It's not going to matter. And the East Chicago Central Cardinals are Great Lakes Conference champions. They were down as much as 14. They come all the way back. They get the win by a final of 65-61. Mike, I think there's only one option when it comes to your Crowell Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game. You got to give it to Dominique Murphy. He had a stellar night.
Dominique Murphy did everything he could, and that is typical of him. Every night he does it. He comes out and he plays hard on both ends. Offensive glass, defensive glass, mid-range jump shot with 2 guys in my face. Buries it, doesn't matter. Does he yank threes? Of course he does. There's not a single thing on this floor that he doesn't do. He passes the ball well, and it took everything for him to do it tonight. and to come away victorious and to become a conference champion.
I know we don't want to give him all the accolades, but I want to see your thoughts on this. Does he also walk away with the proud Union home play of the game with that final dagger there at the end, cleaning up that rebound and giving them the 4-point lead?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin. And, if you don't entirely nail the coffin, you really can't consider a team like Gary Westside out of it, right? I mean, this team is, rose from the dead once before. So, yeah, I would have to agree with that. Yeah, that's the play of the game.
If you are a trade union representative and you are interested in sponsoring the proud Union home play of the game, please call Chris Ramirez at 219-588-1984. Want to give a big thank you to Chris Ramirez, our executive producer, Rich Castillo, our operations manager, coordinating producer Zach Miller, who's here tonight, and sports director Mike Dewan. Big thank you to Zach, who was here producing the entire time. He had to come out here, did a great job producing on his side. A big thanks to the coaches Ala Marui and Christopher Buggs, and the athletic directors Graylin Gordon and Robert Lee. I've been Andrew Mild, and joining me was Mike Jamia. Mike, thanks for coming out and getting loud with me.
Yeah, it was a great time, and I'll say this about our crew, man. These guys are the best. Dewan on camera, Zach Miller on the controls, man, queuing up all those replays, and that's what we call a blue-collar effort. So with that being said, our blue-collar player of the game, I would have to think of somebody on Gary Westside. I have a player in mind. Who do you think it is as well? Maybe we do this. We count down from 3, and we try to say it at the same time, okay? Are you ready?
It sounds good to me.
All right. Give me 1 second. All right, I got my guy. 3, 2, 1. Derek Collins Jr. Yep, Derek.
Did we just become best friends?
Derek Collins, he did so much in this one. Yes, despite it being a losing effort, but Derek Collins, he took on the beast toe-to-toe, head-to-head a few times with Dominique Murphy, and he got the best of him a couple times, but Dominique Murphy got the last laugh. But a blue-collar effort, our blue-collar player of the game, Derek Collins Jr.
Not bad for the junior, who had a good night. Unfortunately, they just fell just short. And that's going to do it here from the Cougar Den here in Gary, Indiana. We thank you for tuning into the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. We'll see you later on. We're going to have more contests going into this weekend. I know we have some wrestling and Crown Point sectionals on Saturday. Don't forget to tune in and check out what's going on in the region. Have a good rest of your night, everyone.